Hi there, in this video, we'll explore how format cells work, and we could also identify different ways by which we could identify what format a particular cell has taken. So I'm on this sheet which says cell formatting. So here we have a few examples which will make it easier for you to understand format cells. So in this first section here, I'm just going to type in some text. So let's say I'm typing in USD 100. So now uh, everything looks good, right? It says USD 100. That's fine. But is this a number or is this text? So how do we know? So there are a couple of ways by which we can identify this. So if I click on this particular cell, you can see what's behind, the data behind. So the data behind is always the original data type. That means if it's a number, the data behind will always show as a number. So where's the data behind? The data behind will always be shown in the formula bar. That's where you see the data behind. So within the formula bar, it shows as USD space 100. It doesn't show as 100. So it's not a number, it's text. So that is one quick way of identifying whether something is a text or a number. Another way is you can just right click on the cell and select format cells. So if you click on format cells, you will see that it shows it as general. So if it was a number, it would have either come under number, currency, accounting, for example, but it has showed up as general, so it is not a number. Perfect. So two different ways by which we could identify it. We understood it from the formula bar as well as by using the format cells. So how do we do it right? So if you want to actually implement, currencies and all of that, you'll need to implement it as a format. So that's exactly what's been done over here. So if I right click on the cell, even before I right click though, if I were to just click on the cell and if I inspect the formula bar, you can see that the number is rightly shown as 100. So the AED which has been added is just a currency symbol that's been implemented. So let's have a quick look at this as to how this can be done. So let's say I'm putting in a number like 150, for example. So now if I click on the cell, the formula bar, it shows the exact same thing. It shows as 150. But if I were to right click on the cell, format cells, you can see it shows general. But then since I have not added any currency symbol, it doesn't show up, right? So let me just go in and select currency, and I can go in and select the currency that I like. So let's say, or that I need rather. Perfect. So I've just selected USD here. Click on OK, decimal places. Let me get rid of decimal places and click OK. Perfect. So now if I click on the cell and if I see the formula bar, it says 150. So it's still a number, but only for visual display, it has added this format. So, in first look, both of these look exactly the same, but it's in the formatting that all the difference comes about. So here I cannot use it for any calculations, but the information that's there in cell C5 can be used for calculations because the data behind is actually a number. Okay, perfect. Once that is sorted, let's look at a very interesting aspect that's available in Excel. So we saw a couple of cell formatting options like general, number, currency, and all of that. But this could be something that will be very, very useful for you when you work within Excel. So let's say you have very large numbers, let's say in millions or billions, and you don't want to show the full amount. You want to show a metric like this. So here it says 34.57 million. So how do you achieve something like that? So let's go and look at this first. So if I click on D4, it's not a text because I can see the entire number in the formula bar, which shows it exactly as 34.56 million. Perfect. So let's understand how this can be done. So I'm just going to type in a large number here. Let's put that in. Okay. So I think that's approximately 34.56 million. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Now this is the entire number in the formula bar. Also, I can inspect it. It's a number. Everything is good. So if I right click format cells, instead of going into number, currency, or accounting, I go into custom. So from the custom section, I can actually define my own formatting. So there are a couple of different ways probably by which you could get this done, but we look at a very simple way of doing this. Okay, so let me start with one hashtag. So when I put in a hashtag, you see that there is absolutely no change. Everything looks exactly the same. But the moment I put a comma, what happens? So one comma basically infers that we are dividing that number by 1,000, but it doesn't show any decimal places though, right? So now it is in hundred thousands, right? But what if I want it as millions? So then I put one more comma. So the first comma divides it by 1,000 with three zeros, and the second comma will divide it by a million. So in total, six zeros. So I'm dividing it by 1 million. But what about the decimal places? Or how do I show, let's say, 35.5 million and so on? So all I need to do is put a decimal and I can put two zeros here. Perfect. So how many ever positions that I want to show in millions, I could go and define that. So that looks pretty easy, right? So let me start that once again. I started with a single hashtag. The number is exactly the same. I put one comma, it divides it by 1,000 without any decimal places. Another comma, once again, I divide it by a million. And then if I want to show the places, I'll use a dot decimal, and I can add in as many zeros as you want depending on how many places you want to show. So it always will round up to the nearest integer. Perfect. A fantastic way by which you could show this. But then how would the user know whether it's in millions or thousands or billions? So that's where you will just need to add that metric. So it's not available directly within custom format that you can just go in and select millions or billions. So you just put that in quotation marks. Just put that in. So whatever text you want to show, you could just put that in quotation marks and perfect. That's exactly how we wanted it. Now click on OK. Perfect. Okay. So we got it the way that we wanted. So if you wanted to represent it with a space, you could do that as well. We've just put them together. So that's a fantastic way by which you could display any metric like this. So it's also possible. So let's say any other metric that you want to show, let's say height or weight, distance, all of those values, you could show it in this manner by using the custom formatting. The last one, and I would say one of the most important ones, is date. Now, how does date work within Excel? So now the first thing that you need to understand is if you're typing in dates, it will basically follow the format that you have within your computer. So as you can see here, the format is date, month, and year. Because as I'm recording this video, it's the 5th of October, 2023. So that's the format it follows. So if I were to write the same date in a different way. So let's say I'm thinking that, okay, the format is month, day, 2023. So this is my assumption as to how the format is. So I put that in. Everything seems okay to me. So I think that, okay, the actual date that's gone in is 5th of October, 2023. Because that's how I put it, right? There's no error. And also in the formula bar, everything looks fine. There are no issues. But if I right click on this and go to format cells, I go into date, I can change the formatting, right? So I can change the formatting here because it identifies it correctly as a date. So there is no issue whatsoever. But if I go in and change this, okay, I'm up for a surprise right now. So the first 10 that we entered has been detected as a day. So how did it get detected as a day? That's because the formatting within our computer is day, month, and year. So you just need to be aware of this when you're typing in dates. But once you put in the date properly, you have the full freedom to go and change the formatting on that cell. So let's understand that. So for now, I'm just putting in as 05, 10, 2023 so that it matches the formatting in my computer. Perfect. So let's go in and change this. Let's go into format cells now. Now I can go and change the formatting. Let's go into custom. And in custom, you can see that it shows these characters here, dd/mm/ and 4y's. So that's how this is getting represented, right? So let me remove the entire thing for now. So let's understand this. So it gives me a numeric version of the date. Let's start with a single D. So just providing a D gives you the date. So if I provide 3 Ds now, it will show the day of the week, right? And let's say I want to represent a comma, I could use that. And now I'll put another space here and put in D, for example. And then I'll use a hyphen and I want to show the month. So if I just put 1M here, it's showing the month as number. If I put 3M's, it shows the month in short form in text. But if I put 4M's, it shows it in full. Let's keep it in short for now. I'll use another hyphen. If I use a single Y, it's just the last 2 digits of the year. If I use 3Y's, then it shows the entire year. Okay, so this is a way by which you could change the formatting. So originally you provided the number in the exact way that you wanted, and after that you go in and change the formatting. So you just need to be a little aware about the regional settings in the computer before you go about doing all of these. Perfect. So this is a very simple way to work on the formatting of dates.